Good morning, I am Sir Richard and welcome to another video of Basic Calculus. The title of this video is ChainRule. So as a review, in our last videos, we tried to tackle the product rule and quotient rule. So for example, we have y is equals to 3x plus 2 quantity squared. This can also be written as 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 2. So in this problem, if we will try to apply the product rule, this will become 3x plus 2 times the derivative of the second, which is 3, plus second, which is 3x plus 2 times the derivative of the first, which is 3. And so, kapag simplify natin ito, we'll be able to get y prime is equals to 18x plus 12. Now, what if the question is y is equal to 3x plus 2 raised to 3? So, same format pa rin, 3x plus 2 times 3 plus 3x plus 2 times 3 plus 3x plus 2 times 3. So, medyo mahaba but still manageable to be na ma-solve pa rin. Nga lang, ang problema, what if the exponent y is equals to 0? The exponent reaches more than 3 or sabihin natin sagutin natin ng 100. So writing all these terms 1, 2, 3, 100 times will not be medyo magiging mahirap kung paano siya solve. So that's where the point na ulitan papasok si chain rule. Chain rule. So based from the teacher's guide of the DepEd basic calculus, you can treat chain rule as a composition of G and F. So with that, ito yung magiging formula niya. And another view is dy dx is equals to dy du times du dx. Para mas madali, we can treat the composite function of fg as having two parts. We have the outer function and the inner function. Inner function yung g sub x. Outer function yung f of g sub x, which will eventually be pag kinalan natin yung derivative, we'll be using the formula f prime u, or the derivative of the outer function at the inner function, times the derivative of the inner function, or g prime. So, before we proceed in applying the formula, let's try to first identify what is the inner function and what is the outer function in this problem. So, we have here examples that determines identifies the inner and outer function. So, y is equals to 1 over x plus 2. Our inner function is x plus 2, as you see from the example. And the outer function is 1 over u. Or we can also write this one as u raised to negative 1. Number 2, sine 3x. The inner function is 3x, and the outer function is sine u. Number 3, square root of x squared minus x plus 1. So, the inner function is x squared minus x plus 1, and the outer function is square root of u. Lastly, we have tangent squared x. So the inner function is tangent x, and the outer function is u squared. So based on the examples, let's try to identify these another examples, yung inner and outer function natin. So with y is equals to quantity 5x minus 8, quantity q raised to 3, ang inner function natin is 5x minus 8. So u is equals to 5x minus 8. Then y is equals to u raised to 3. So number 2, we have x minus 1. And our y is equals to 1 over square root of u. Number 3, we have 3x over 2. And the outer function is sine u. Number 4, we have inner function as tangent x. And the outer function is u squared. There you go. So, the most common format ng composite function is in terms of parang sa power rule ng sa derivative. So, we will be applying the general power rule. So, this is the common type ng composite function. And with that, applying the power rule, this becomes n times use of x raised to n minus 1 times the derivative of u. So use of x raised to n will become n use of x raised to n minus 1 times the derivative of u, or simply n times u raised to n minus 1 times the derivative of u. So example number 1. Y is equals to 3x minus 2x squared quantity squared. So first, try to identify what is the inner function. From this equation, we have 3x minus 2x squared. So that is the inner function. And the outer function is u squared. So from that, let's try to apply the formula. So this will become, I have here 2. We will apply the general power rule. So 2 times 3x minus 2x squared raised to 2 minus 1 times the derivative of u, which happens to be 3x minus 2x squared. So next, simplifying this, ito magiging 1 na lang, and kuha natin derivative ito. So that will be 2 times 3x minus 2x squared times 3 minus 4x. So if we will try to simplify this equation, algebra na lang naman yun, we will eventually get 16x cubed minus 36x squared plus 18x. So that is our first example in trying to find, or in applying the general power rule for the chain. Number 2, mas simple. So we have y is equals to 1 over x plus 2. Our inner function will be x plus 2, and our outer function will be 1 over u, or u raised to negative 1. So, rewrite na natin siya as u raised to negative 1. So, from this will become y is equals to x plus 2 raised to negative 1. Applying the general power rule, that will be negative 1 times x plus 2, negative 1 minus 1 times the derivative of u, which is x plus 2. And eventually, we will get, so this will be negative 2, this will be negative, so negative x plus 2 raised to negative 2 times 1, derivative of x plus 2. Or, we can simply write this one as negative 1 all over x plus 2 squared. Okay, so number 3 is medyo mas mahirap ng konti. Applying the general power rule. Pero wait, our inner u is equal to x squared over x cubed plus 2, and y is equal to u squared. So once kinuha natin derivative nitong part na to, we will be applying the quotient rule. So let's proceed. So y prime is equal to 2 times x squared over x cubed plus 2 times the derivative of the inner function. As I said, we will be using the quotient rule. So that will be x cubed plus 2. So denominator times derivative of numerator, which is 2x, minus numerator x squared, derivative of denominator, which happen to be 3x squared, all over denominator squared, which is x cubed plus 2 squared. Okay, so from this line, meron na tayong x cubed plus 2, then x cubed plus 2 squared. So, ang denominator natin will be x cubed plus 2 raised to 3. Then, simplify natin yon. So, 2x squared. So, that will be 2x squared. Tapos, so may denominator. So, that will be x cubed plus 2 raised to 3. Now, for the numerator, if we will try to simplify this, so this is 2x to the 4th, 4x, then 3x to the 4th. So that will become 4x minus x to the 4. Factor out, total merong x sa loob. So, 2x cubed times 4 minus x cubed all over x cubed plus 2 raised to 3. So, that is another example of getting the chain rule by applying the general power rule. Okay, so trigonometric functions and the chain rule. So, if we have another function or composite function such as getting the derivative of sine u, so that will become cosine u times the derivative of the u. If it's tangent u, derivative of tangent is second squared. So second squared u times the derivative of u. Second u, that will become second u tangent u, then the derivative of u. If it's cosine u, that will become negative sine u and times the derivative of u. So cotangent u is negative cosecant squared u times u prime. Finally, cosecant u will become negative cosecant u times cotangent u times u prime. Okay, so example, y is equal to sine 2x. Our inner function is 2x, then our outer function should be, so u natin is 2x, and y, or the outer function, is sine u. So from that one, sine u will become cosine u, or cosine 2x, times the derivative of 2x, which will become 2. So cosine 2x times 2, and that will become 2 cosine 2x. Another one, cosine times x minus 1 quantity. So our inner function is x minus 1, and cosine u is our outer. Cosine u will become negative sine u, or negative sine, times x minus 1. Then the derivative of x minus 1 is x, or 1. So negative sine x minus 1. Finally, y is equal to tangent 3x. We have inner function 3, then outer function is tangent u. Tangent u will become second squared u, which happen to be second squared 3x. Derivative ng 3x is 3. So second squared 3x times 3 is 3 second squared 3x. And that's all for the chain rule. Watch out for another video for the implicit and integration. Thank you.